In just 9 minutes, get the key insights from Andrew Huberman's 4-hour deep dive with Dr. Michael Platt, released on February 17th, 2025. Discover how hormones, dominance, and decision-making shape your life in ways you never realized, from attraction and power to risk-taking and success. Watch till the end for science-backed strategies you can use today. Here are the key takeaways from the podcast. Takeaway 1. Hormones shape how we feel and act. Hormones do not dictate behavior directly, but they enhance certain emotions and tendencies. Think of them like volume knobs that turn up existing feelings rather than forcing new ones. Testosterone increases motivation and confidence, but it can also make people more aggressive and impulsive. Oxytocin, often called the love hormone, promotes trust and bonding, but it can also increase favoritism toward one's own social group. For example, in a study of stock traders, those with high testosterone levels made bolder investment decisions, sometimes leading to huge profits. However, when too many traders had high testosterone at the same time, their risk-taking spiraled out of control, leading to market instability. This shows that dominance and power fueled by hormones can have both positive and negative effects on decision-making. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 2. Decision-making is a trade-off between speed and accuracy. Every choice we make is a balance between speed and accuracy. Acting too quickly increases the chances of mistakes, while taking too long can cause missed opportunities. The brain constantly adjusts this balance depending on stress levels, fatigue, and competition. For example, researchers observed wrestlers during matches. At the start, they made smart, strategic moves, carefully choosing when to attack or defend. But as they got tired, their decisions became rushed and reckless. This is why fatigue can be dangerous, as it forces the brain to prioritize speed over careful thought. The same thing happens in business and leadership. People under high stress often make impulsive decisions that they later regret. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 3. Social status shapes what we value. Humans are wired to respect and follow high-status individuals, even if we are not aware of it. The brain automatically assigns more value to things associated with dominant or influential people. This is why celebrity endorsements are so effective, and why people tend to trust leaders more than unknown individuals. For example, in a study with monkeys, researchers paired brand logos with either high-status or low-status monkeys. Later, the monkeys preferred the brands associated with dominant individuals, even though both choices offered the same rewards. This is the same reason why people are willing to pay more for products promoted by famous athletes or influencers, even when the quality is identical to cheaper options. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 4. Dominance can strengthen or weaken decision-making. Being in a position of power changes how people evaluate risks and rewards. Those who feel dominant tend to take risks, trust their instincts, and make faster choices. This confidence can lead to bold and successful decisions, but it can also cause recklessness if they ignore important details. On the other hand, people in lower status roles often hesitate too much, fearing the consequences of making the wrong choice. For example, research on CEOs and business leaders found that those with higher testosterone levels were more likely to make bold business moves. Some of these decisions led to massive financial success, while others resulted in huge failures. This highlights that dominance and decision-making must be balanced with self-awareness and careful analysis. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 5. Political views are influenced by biology. Many people assume that political beliefs are shaped purely by personal values and experiences, but research shows that biology also plays a role. Some people are naturally more sensitive to threats, making them favor conservative policies that focus on security and stability. Others are more open to uncertainty and change, which makes them lean toward liberal views. For example, brain scans showed that people with a strong fear response to threatening images were more likely to support strict security measures and law enforcement policies. Meanwhile, those with higher activity in brain areas linked to curiosity and exploration were more likely to support progressive policies. This suggests that how we see the world is partly wired into our brains, influencing how we make political decisions. We're halfway through the video. Thank you for sticking with us this far. If you're enjoying it, please give us a thumbs up and share it in your WhatsApp groups. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to comment below. To see more videos like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Now let's continue with the video. Takeaway 6. Fatigue makes people more impulsive. When people are mentally or physically exhausted, they are more likely to take risks and make impulsive choices. The brain switches to survival mode, where it prioritizes quick decisions over long-term thinking. For example, in a study on decision-making in athletes, researchers found that as fatigue increased, so did risky behaviors. Instead of following a strategy, the athletes reacted emotionally, which led to worse performance. The same pattern is seen in business leaders, military personnel, and students. When they are tired, their ability to think critically and evaluate risks is severely weakened. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 7. Hierarchy affects our happiness and decisions. People often judge their success by comparing themselves to others in their social circle. Even if someone is financially stable and successful, they may feel unsatisfied if their peers are doing better. This explains why social comparison can sometimes be harmful to mental well-being. For example, researchers found that employees earning a good salary were less happy if they knew that their colleagues were making more money. Their actual financial situation did not change, but their perception of success was altered by comparison. This is why dominance and social status influence how people perceive their achievements. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 8. Creativity requires both exploration and filtering. Creativity is not just about thinking outside the box. It also requires choosing the right ideas to act on. Highly creative people balance two abilities: exploring new possibilities and filtering out weak ideas. For example, in a study on entrepreneurs, those who scored high in both exploration and filtering built the most successful businesses. If they explored too much, their projects became unfocused and chaotic. If they filtered too much, they became stuck and unable to innovate. This shows that great decision-making is a mix of creativity and control. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 9. Generosity activates the brain's reward system. Helping others triggers the same brain circuits as receiving a reward. Generosity is not just a social expectation, it is biologically rewarding. For example, brain scans have shown that when people donate money or help others, their reward centers light up, similar to when they win money or receive a gift. This suggests that generosity is wired into human behavior, making it both beneficial for society and personally fulfilling. Now let's move to the last takeaway. Takeaway 10. Oxytocin builds trust but increases bias. Oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone, helps people build trust and strengthen relationships. However, it also makes people more biased toward their own group and less trusting of outsiders. For example, in studies where teams were given oxytocin, they cooperated better, but also became more competitive against other groups. This shows that while oxytocin strengthens social bonds, it can also contribute to division and bias, if not balanced with open-mindedness. This podcast unpacks the science of dominance, decision-making, and social influence in ways that affect our daily lives, careers, and relationships. Understanding these principles can help improve decision-making, reduce biases, and navigate social hierarchies more effectively. Dr. Michael Platt is a professor of neuroscience and psychology at the University of Pennsylvania. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this summary of the Andrew Huberman podcast with Dr. Michael Platt informative. If you're interested in learning more about these topics, I encourage you to watch the full podcast on YouTube by clicking on the link in the description below. If you enjoyed watching this video, please leave a like below and share this video in your WhatsApp groups. You can also discuss about this video by commenting below. To get more such videos in your timeline, press the subscribe button below.